Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. And yo, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. And today I want to share a clip of what's going on right now and what will be possibly happening in October. Check this out.
And that short-term bill will help for now, but federal lawmakers have just 2 weeks to fund a new budget or agree to push the deadline back. Right now, neither looks likely, meaning the government could shut down. Well, Seven's on your side with what that could mean for your family and how you can prepare for it. Here's the good news. If the shutdown is short, most people won't feel much of an impact. Essential services like the post office will keep running, and any furloughed employees will receive retroactive pay. But even a short shutdown could delay some of your plans.
If you're dealing with the government for some reason, you need your passport renewed. You have friends that are applying for citizenship status. You have questions with your IRS refund or about your taxes. You're planning to go visit a national park. All of those things could be impacted because the people that are in charge of dealing with those things won't be on the job.
Social Security checks and Medicare benefits will still go out, though some processes like benefit verification or replacement Medicare cards could be stalled. But if the shutdown goes on long enough, we could start to see bigger impacts. SNAP will still be funded, but some food stamp benefits may not be sent out. Essential government workers, such as first responders, may no longer be able to work without pay. We saw this in 2018 when a lack of TSA agents and air traffic controllers caused
People
flight
depending
delays
on the
and
government
terminal
for certain
closures.
services like
If the
SNAP.
shutdown goes for more than a few days, it could end up impacting the economy significantly. It could affect the nation's credit rating. It means that there's going to be lost productivity, lost buying power, and
Wow.
that could end up impacting all of us as well.
If a government shutdown could impact you financially, now might be a good time to reevaluate your budget, put off any major purchases, and build up your emergency fund.
Yes.
If you miss a paycheck and can't pay your bills, insurance company USAA recommends contacting your financial companies. Ask if there are any payment extension programs available for your credit cards, your mortgage, or insurance policies.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. As you hear it on ABC News, could be a possible government shutdown. That means certain services will be cut. And I'm just here to inform you that what is possible to come. Um, and this government shutdown could be panic. It could be something to think about. And this is a more time than ever before than to curb your spending, especially if you like going on lavish trips. You like splurging on lavish trips, always traveling everywhere, going on concerts, expensive concerts, spending money on expensive concerts, spending money on clothes that you don't need, that you probably want, but you don't need. It's time to think about your finances and use wisdom. Use wisdom and how you spend your money and what you buy and what you invest in. And I'm a big advocate of investing in certain things that will help you financially instead of spending all your money on liabilities, things that you can't get money back from. So if this governmental shutdown happen, yes, it will be a panic. People, yeah, this according to the sources, people will be able to receive SNAP. SNAP is those who don't know, is a governmental program that's there to help people that's making a certain type of income, like a low income, and you're able to get that governmental. Maybe just in New York, I'm not too sure if it's every other state gets SNAP, but I know in New York, SNAP is available for those who make a certain income that's not so much, and you're able to get that. That's able to buy your food with that, and they're talking about that. So if you're splurging and spending like you're crazy, this is not the time to do it. And one thing I don't understand with this governmental crash is that people, remember the news that I shared a few weeks ago about Hawaii, about the disaster that happened in Hawaii, the fires, the disaster that happens in Hawaii, and the people, the families, was only able to receive 700. In Hawaii, that's not enough for a family of four. Not enough for a family because Hawaii is a very expensive state to live in, extremely expensive. And but yet, according to the sources, billions of dollars went to Ukraine to fund the war. So, yeah, so it's something to think about, something to think about. But yet they're taking social securities and giving it to the migrants that's coming in. Something to think about. Something to think about. Something to think about. I don't know. I'm just thinking constructively. And leave a comment. If you leave a comment, tell me what you think. It could be a possible shutdown. That means a lot of interruptions. That means possibly, I'm just saying, could be a possible services could be shut down. Something like your cell phone. Your phone could be shut down. Social media, can't use social media. And trust me, a lot of people would be going crazy if they can't look at their social media for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. A lot of people would be going crazy. A lot of people would be going crazy if they can't use a phone. I experienced that. Shoot, listen. I'm old enough to experience. I remember Sandy when I couldn't use my phone. I remember that, and I had a phone for like 2 days. I think about 2 days, 2 days, 3 days. During Sandy was 2012. I had a baby, and I had my toddler, and me and my wife, our cell phones didn't work. And we experienced that cell phone. Which, listen, I grew up in the 90s, so I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I know what it is like not to have a cell phone. So if I can survive with a cell phone for 2-3 days, it's okay. But some people will go crazy. They'll lose their minds. They're just pull their hairs out. The computer won't be able to work so much. A lot of things will be shut down, and people just go haywire. They be panicking, going haywire. They be losing their minds. And it comes to talk about, well, and there's a true test of what you build your rock upon. You build it on sand or you build it on the rock, which is Jesus Christ. And I'm not gonna panic and go crazy because I know at the end of the day who I rely on, who I trust in, and who I rely on. I'm not gonna go crazy. They talking about a shutdown, possible shutdown. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but the people that's in power, the people that's the elite, they know. They know before it happens. They know what's gonna happen before it happens, before us. And some people they know what's gonna happen before us. Some people just take the news as verbatim, like that's what it is. But believe you me, people in power, this Babylonian system, people know the elite, the people in power know what's gonna happen before it happens. Shoot, even Masons. I'm talking about even the Masons. Speaking about them, they know what's gonna happen before it happens. Not to say that all Masons are evil, there's an evil organization, but certain things in Masonry, I have to say, is demonic. I'm gonna just call it out. The higher ranking you have to go is that um, society, secret society, and the higher ranking you go, the more things you got to do, and they know. You don't think the Freemasons know? They know. They know. A lot of people are a part of it. A lot of so-called Christians are a part of the Masons too. But I'm gonna make that's another topic. And yeah, but they know. The elite knows. My point is, ladies and gentlemen, they know. And can't just be blind and oblivious to what's going on around you. Can't be oblivious and blind to what's going on around you. You have to be aware and just keep dibs on what's going on in the news around you, because a lot of people, if this happens, it's gonna affect your pockets. This happens, certain services shut down, and you won't have access to those certain services, especially if you're relying totally on the government for certain services. Like I heard certain things in Snap may shut down if this lockdown government shutdown happens. Now we don't know. According to we're just going by according to the sources, and we don't know what's gonna happen. But what I do know is that you have those who are in the Lord. It's nothing to fear about, nothing to worry about, because God got us. Nothing to to panic, because the Lord has us. He has us. He has us. So when you see people panicking, see people going crazy, you just close your eyes and just ask God to provide and make a way and lead the way. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the latest talk right now. It's all over the media. It's called the governmental shutdown, and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see. Well, I want to share a live word of the day. Live word of the day is coming out of Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 to 29. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine, this is what Jesus is saying, and puts them into practice is like a wise man who builds his house on a rock. The rain came down, and streams rose, and winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it has its foundation on the rock. And who are you gonna? And ladies and gentlemen, who are you gonna build your foundation on? Things, material things, like a cell phone, social media. Who do you build your rock on? You build your rock on sand, or do you build your house on a rock, which is Jesus Christ? Or you gonna build your house on sand? When you build your house on sand, what happens? It collapses. When you trust in this Babylonian system, and you trust the government for everything, you trust the system, what happens? It collapses. When you trust in man for certain things, what happens? This is disappoint you and it collapses. But when you build your foundation, when you build your foundation on Jesus Christ, what happens? It stands the test of time. It stands, and guess what happens? It doesn't crumble like sand. You ever build a sand castle and it crumbles, and then you build a house of stone, and when the wolf comes, it blows, it doesn't fall down. But when you build your house on sand, it collapses right away. The wind will blow, water will come, and it collapses. So who do you trust? Or build your who do you build on? You want to build on the foundation, which is Jesus Christ, or do you want to build on sand, where it's easy to collapse? And you got to ask yourself that question, ladies and gentlemen. Ask yourself the question, who do you trust in these days? Who? Because as you can see, it's going to be a cold winter. We don't know what's to come. Things are in place. AI is going to be a part of our lifestyle. It's already a part of our lifestyle. Elon Musk is talking about the neural links, which is going to be operating in your brain. We don't know what that's going to do, and people may have to get it, but I guess that's for another video. That's going to get you to say. He said, according to the sources, going to get you to see if you're blind and get you to walk. We'll see. And we have more things coming. More jobs are going to be threatened by AI, and these things are to come to pass. These things are to come to pass. So it's not time to splurge and to live for pleasure. Not time to party all the time, live to have a good time all the time. It's a time and place for everything. Time and place for everything under the sun, the Bible says. This is the time to get, because we're living in the last days. Mental illness is out the door. And as you can hear this talk, if it happens, governmental shutdown, if it happens, this is time to get close to God. This is time to intercede with God. And to more than ever before, is to trust Him and to build your foundation on the rock, which is Jesus Christ. Well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. Peace and blessings, and remember to pray. God bless and be safe out there. Peace and blessings, y'all.